Welcome everyone to the Friends That Carry On podcast, where we dive deeper into our trips, unpack tips, and everything in between. Now sit back, relax, and get ready to go on a trip with your favourite group of friends.
Hello and welcome to Friends That Carry On podcast. We, as you know, are a group of friends who like to travel the world and share our adventures with our listeners. We try to create FOMO amongst ourselves and hopefully do the same with our listeners, inspire you to travel. Today, we are fortunate enough to have Matt Kondrup from Matty Travel Group join us. So, Matt, welcome to the Friends That Carry On podcast. Today, it'll be me, Jim Scott, and Tony Price of the Friends leading everyone on this journey. So, welcome aboard, Matt.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Jim, for having me. It is an absolute honor to be here today and join you guys here on this Friday afternoon as we talk a little bit of travel, especially with times how it's been so incredibly difficult, especially in the travel and tourism industry, to have this opportunity to talk travel now as things start to open up and we can kind of really think about what we're going to be hitting in the next few months and what's open, what's not open, and where to get on a plane and head to right now.
Right. Oh, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Matt, or Matty K Travel Group is out of, you're on Long Island, is that right, in New York?
Yes. Everybody makes fun of me saying it, but we are based in Long Island, New York. I have to accentuate that Long Island accent there. We have 40 independent contractors spread out throughout the union of the 50 states. I do not have anybody in Hawaii or Alaska, but pretty much just about every state we have at least one independent contractor advisor. But home base, storefront, the headquarters is here in Long Island, New York.
Great, great. Now, how that sounds like a pretty extensive network. How do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got started and the history of Matty K Travel?
We kind of got started by accident. It kind of just happened. It was my background has nothing to do with travel, tourism, or business. I am actually a paramedic for the police department here in New York for the last almost 18 years, and came a point where I was looking for something on the side to do to kind of occupy my time that was a little bit different than talking with my wife about work every day, and my wife being an emergency room nurse. And the opportunity presented itself to start working and selling Disney travel. And with that network, I went from selling just Disney vacations to selling cruises and all-inclusives to kind of just realizing that, hey, maybe I should, instead of working for somebody else, kind of go out on my own. And that kind of happened pretty quickly. And during that time, I suffered a paramedic career-ending injury that left me laid up literally in a bed for a period of time, to have that evil mind of how to grow a business, how to grow and expand pretty quickly. And the Matty K Travel Group was formed, and within that came Castle Vacations, which is our Disney-inspired travel agency, and then you also have MK Destination Weddings and Honeymoons, which is self-explanatory, focusing on honeymoons and destination weddings. And here we are, a couple of years later, and we are taking travel industry by storm. We're no nonsense. We love our clients. We treat all of our clients like family, and we love every second of the travel industry. We really do.
Well, that's awesome. And that's also quite a segue from paramedic to travel advisor. That's a pretty wild transition there.
Yeah, it's definitely not something you hear every day. I have met a couple of retired nurses, retired police officers in the industry, but I mean, even today, I am technically still employed as a paramedic. I am awaiting retirement to kick in from here and have that happen. It's a long, arduous process to have that happen. And but after breaking your back and breaking your femur, it kind of makes it next to impossible to to do that job anymore.
Oh,
So
I'm sure.
we're moving on, and here we are. Like I said, it's thankfully that I have this. Thankfully that this business, this industry has opened themselves with open arms to me and accepted me and my craziness and my lack of a filter, as people will tell you.
That's probably your charm.
This is the Long Island charm, right?
It's exactly, absolutely the Long Island charm. But this is fantastic. This is and that is part of, because of my background, is why I've learned very quickly. Life is short. It's sweet. We need to cherish it. In a split second, it can be taken from you. And I put that same feeling into every vacation, every trip that we plan is about that love for travel, that love for life. And it's so important to cherish our experiences with our family, our friends, our loved ones. And that's what we try to instill and bring to what we do with our clients.
No, that's fantastic. I know with us, especially we're at some special place on obviously a vacation or trip or whatever, and we're just either overlooking an incredible monument or building or looking out just at a great seascape or landscape. One of our slogans that we came up just as friends, and now is kind of a motto for our podcast, is that life don't suck. When you're sitting there just enjoying that moment, and you're just like, life don't suck. So we agree with your sentiment very much there.
Awesome. Yeah, that's exactly it. We have to cherish life and live every day like there is no tomorrow.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of breaking your back, COVID hit here a couple months ago, and I know that's just thrown everybody's world upside down, including being able to go and travel and everything else. So not so much to go in detail on how that's what's going on with COVID, but how are you advising customers coming out of COVID, and what do you see that now that it looks like at least a little bit on the horizon is the opportunity to start getting out and getting away from our isolation and our lockdowns and all that type of stuff?
Yeah, it's different because every state, every county has different rules, has different opinions, and no matter who you talk to, everybody's got a different opinion on the topic. When COVID shut down, I remember vividly the phone call coming that my daughter's school was going to be shut down on March 16th. Obviously, it threw things into a whirlwind. We thought it was going to be a quick 2-week thing. But here we are a couple months later. The world is opening back up slowly. What we know of travel is changed. Yeah, I actually just looked the other day for a direct flight home from Cancun back to JFK. I used to have 30 different options, and I had no direct options that particular day. Yeah. But things are starting to change. Cancun is open. I have some travel friends that are actually there right now. Jamaica, I believe, is opening their doors on June 15th to clients. And there's different rules you read online about if you're from the New York tri-state area, you would have to quarantine if you go to Florida. The Floridians don't want us. There's things online saying that the numbers are spiking. But in the grand scheme of things, the world is starting to reopen slowly. And like I said, travel as you know it has changed and will change. And things might go back to pre-COVID, but here we are. It's been a rough couple of months, but the world is opening up, and I think that in time we will adjust to whether it's the masks or the sanitizer and all of that stuff. But we'll get there.
Yeah, right. One of the things that well, obviously we're a travel podcast. We're travel junkies. So One of the things we were talking about, there's always the fine line: is it too soon or not? But for those who do want to travel, I mean, you would think that there's probably some opportunities, to travel now, whether it's immediately or in the near future. What are some of the things that you're seeing that you recommend or think some good deals out there?
There's some great hotel deals. Airfare, not so much. Everybody thinks now's the time to book air. You're going to get some great air deals. I haven't seen that many great air deals. But as things start to open up, there are some great deals in the Caribbean, especially in your what I call your three main parts that are your mainstream: your Cancun, your Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, and Jamaica, Montego Bay, which you'd be flying into. There are some amazing deals as things start to slowly open. Your AIC Hard Rock has some great, incredible deals going on right now. They even have they launched a voucher program. So if you're not sure your dates, if you know you want to travel in 2020, you pay a set price, and you can pretty much lock in that price for any time during the year, with the exceptions of a couple of blackout dates. And same thing for 2021. Palace Resorts is doing that buy one get one room, and it doesn't have to be used at the same time.
Is that Palace Resorts? Where's that?
Palace Resorts has resorts in Mexico and Jamaica. Okay. The Moon Palace in Jamaica, and then they have LeBlanc and the Palace Resorts in Cancun, and also in Cabo. And AM Resorts has a couple places starting to slowly open. They're opening up a little slowly. Same thing with Sandals, as Unique Vacation, Sandals Beaches. They're opening up a little slower. But definitely, I know right now there's a couple of friends that are down at the Fives in Playa del Carmen is open. El Dorado Maroma, some friends are at this week and have been live streaming. It's obviously at a low capacity, but it's there. And the safety measures are there, because obviously if the safety measures aren't there and people are going to go away and they're not going to feel safe, it's not going to go over well when people go write reviews online or come back and tell their friends about it. They're investing a ton of money to make you feel safe. And these companies are partnering with some top companies. I believe it was a Hard Rock partnered with Ecolab to ensure that the guests feel safe. The rooms are clean. Universal down in Orlando is open. Don't even get me started on Disney. They're not open yet. And that is just, and I'm a junkie. If you've ever heard of Disney junkies, I am a true and true. We're at Disney. We're pass holders. We obviously have a Disney agency. We're in Disney all the time. They have really dropped the ball big time.
I thought Disney was supposed to be open by now. I mean, I knew they were shooting for it. I guess that hadn't happened.
Disney opened their Disney Springs, which is nothing more than a shopping mall. That's really what Disney Springs is. There's nothing more to it. You can go there, you can go shopping, but you're not seeing the characters. You're not going on any rides. You're not seeing the princesses. It is glorified. It's a dining outlet, and it's a shopping mall where you can spend money and give it to the mouse. That's what Disney Springs is.
Well, you got any updates on when they're supposed to start opening up?
They're supposed to start opening up in stages come, I believe it was July 11th for resorts, but that doesn't guarantee you access to the parks. And so even if you, so they got rid of the dining plans, they ripped that out from us. They got rid of the park hoppers. You have to make reservations to get into the parks. And if you're staying on property, there's still no guarantee that you're getting into a park. And even with that, the parks that do open in stages are opening in phases of Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and then you'll have Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom. But you have to make a reservation. It's only outdoor attractions are available. There's no the dining is much, is changed vastly. If anybody thinks of Chef Mickey's, one of the most popular places to go when you went to Disney at the Contemporary Resort, it was a buffet style. Everybody got to see all your main characters, hugs, kisses, spend time with the characters. That's all gone. That's over with. Let alone being able to take pictures or get close to these characters. So a lot of change is coming. I don't know if it's all going to be good or bad, if it's temporary, permanent, and it's something to kind of watch and see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely not your typical. My kids, we take them every year for their birthday. Each one of my three daughters would go to Disney, and I have a 5-year-old turning 6 in July, and to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to go to Disney World and nothing's open.
Right. We were just having that same conversation.
Inclusive in the Caribbean. Give me a credit card and we'll go to Hard Rock, or we'll go to Moon Palace, or we'll go to Margaritaville.
Yeah, we were just having that same conversation. Our youngest turned 6 in April, and we originally thought about going. Of course, that got shot. So hopefully it's still going to be back to some kind of normalcy by the time he turns 7 next April. But
yeah, I think by next year you'll see. I think we need to, feel it out. People need to feel comfortable because you don't want to discount people's feelings and what their comfort levels are.
Yeah.
And you also don't want to discount the people that are ready to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of something said as I walked across the street before to get a cup of coffee was, if you want to travel, you should be free to travel. And if you want to stay home, you should be free to stay home and not feel pressured in either way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's what's important. And it was funny. Somebody said during this whole thing here in New York, it was okay to go to Target and go shop there because that was an essential store. But if you went down the street to Kohl's, you couldn't go shop at.
Right.
The supermarket was safe, but the hair salon wasn't.
But I know around here, going to Lowe's was a madhouse.
Right.
But
Exactly.
you're not allowed to go to your local.
Lowe's was open. Home Depot was closed. It was crazy here.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, the other thing I was going to ask you too, you were talking about some friends down in the Caribbean and in Mexico. Have you talked to them to see just kind of how the experience is as far as eating and hanging out and checking out some of the local scenes? Is that still open, or is it kind of just a very reduced?
So things are reduced. I mean, things literally just opened. Cancun opened to visitors on June 8th, and here we are on the 12th. So this is just 4 days ago. And if you think of all of these all-inclusive resorts, they have part of what they talk about is they have so many different restaurants options and food options. If you're at 20-30% capacity, there's no sense in having 15 restaurants open and all that food. That's wasted food. What they did do, and I do know that what the Fives in Playa del Carmen is doing, is 2 of their restaurants are open. They're changing their menu each night. So instead of opening up all the restaurants, they have changed it where the restaurants are open. 2 of the restaurants are open, but they're giving you, so you're not eating the same thing every night if you're going for a week.
Right.
So things are opening. I do know our travel partner in Cancun, if you ever book a trip with Matty K Travel, you are going to be met with Lomas Travel. They're going to have a nice sign. They're going to have a nice welcome bag. You cannot miss their white pants and their blue shirt. And they spray your luggage down. They are there with a mask. They're there with a welcome bag. They put you in a nice sanitized vehicle, bring you to your resort. The Fives had this sanitizer machine that you actually walk in. It checks your temperature. It sprays this disinfectant on you, and you're on your way.
Well, that's the way to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly it. They're not making you wear, even across the street here on Long Island, talking about wearing masks. You have to wear a mask on a plane. What do you want to do when you want to take a sip of water? What is my 2-year-old going to do on a plane? It's impossible. You don't have to wear a mask if you choose not to. All the staff are wearing masks. They're separating themselves. But you can't figure to wear a mask sitting in the pool. Slowly the pool bars are opening, and as the capacity and occupancy goes up, we'll see the more and more restaurants open and the more and more options open up.
What are you, and maybe it's too soon with you, the friends just getting down there that are at these resorts now and just opened a few days ago, but are there any restrictions flying back into the States? Does anybody have to quarantine or do anything special other than maybe their temperature being taken to get back into the States properly?
I haven't seen anything in particular. I do know that you do have that questionnaire that you fill out now when you come back into the States that Customs and Border Patrol are asking you to fill out a little bit more in depth than your typical form when you entered. I don't know whether they're checking temperatures. And each state has a different rule and regulation of where you visited, do you have to quarantine, and who's enforcing that? Right now, if you're from the New York tri-state area and you go to Florida, you're supposed to quote unquote quarantine. And I've had clients who have just recently traveled to Florida. They were from the New York area. They weren't asked to quarantine. Obviously, they were not sick. They followed all the same guidelines of staying 6 feet apart, wearing a mask. And when they came back here to New York, there was no question about, where you traveled, what you did. We have not had anybody yet come back from a Caribbean island or from a European island to ask that. I do know that some of the travel nurses that I've spoken to who were back and forth from Florida who came here to New York, that were lifesavers. You want to talk about saving lives, literally, figuratively. These travel nurses flew back and forth from Florida here to New York to help us out. And they were on the plane on a regular basis. They were not required to quarantine or anything like that. Obviously, they were healthcare workers, but there was no, line set up. Oh, here, let's check your temperature type thing. It's kind of, a little bit of responsibility as an adult. If you're sick, stay home. If you're not sick, feel free and travel, kind of thing.
Yeah. Something else I wanted to ask you about. I got this, I heard that, you put together some packages related for some graduates.
Yes. So what we did is, all of these high school graduates, college graduates, they missed out on graduation. They missed out on cap, gown, family, friends, being able to celebrate that milestone, whether it's graduating high school, graduating college. So we partnered with TEMA, and we put together this amazing idea. Hard Rock Riviera Maya, the first week of August. Not going to lie, it might be a little hot down there, but we promise an amazing, amazing experience. What we're going to do is we're going to recreate your graduation. Whether it's high school or college, you come down, you visit with us. We have an amazing block of rooms set up with a great price, and we are going to recreate your graduation. We're going to do one for college graduates, and we're going to do one for high school graduates. College graduates, if you're over 21, you can have a cocktail. Your high school graduates, you can have a Shirley Temple. But we are going to recreate that. And it's funny, here in New York, they just passed the rule that if there's 150 or less people, you can hold a graduation. But if there's 151, it's not okay.
Oh, wow.
Come on down to the Caribbean. Come down to Hard Rock Riviera Maya, August 1st through the 7th. Matty K Travel Group, we have an amazing deal set up with the Hard Rock Group at Hard Rock Riviera Maya. We are going to celebrate your graduation, like whether it's from high school, college, even, my middle daughter, she graduated from preschool. We'll be there. We're going to celebrate that. We're going to celebrate our preschool graduation going off to kindergarten. You can come down. We will have caps, gowns. You can bring your diploma or bring a copy of it, and we're going to hand it to you. Pomp, circumstance, the whole 9 yards. A big celebration is going to go on down there for that.
Nice. And I assume, obviously, family can come and that type of stuff. How does that work?
The more the merrier. We are actually working out a package and a plan that if you have a family large enough, we're going to try to make it where the graduate can go for free. We're still working out those details. But yes, family, friends, everybody, we've got a big block of rooms. We've already spoken to the Hard Rock. If we need more rooms and you got a big family and you want to put it all together, we're going to do this similar to how we would do a wedding group, and we blocked off rooms, some great deals. Go down there. By that point, the pool bars will be open, the restaurants will be open, and there'll be direct flights from just about all your major cities. So if you don't have summer plans, and if you're up in the air about what to do for graduation, how to celebrate that graduation gift even, go spend it with your family and your friends. Hard Rock Riviera Maya, August 1st to the 7th. I need a 3-night minimum. Obviously, nobody wants to go away for just 3 nights. Go away for 4 or 5 nights. Spend it with your family and friends. You might see a cameo appearance from Matty K if the wife allows me out of the house for those days, because a week later, actually, August 8th, I got to be in Hard Rock Punta Cana, and then I'm right back at Hard Rock Riviera Maya on August 16th for the Romance Travel Forum. So nice. I might as well just take up residency at Hard Rock. And
that sounds terrible.
That sounds like just an awful lot.
I mean, I don't think my wife's going to go for it. But
well, it's a family thing. Can't she come with it?
I offered. I asked. She is possibly going to come with us.
Okay.
If we do it for our we were actually just talking about this right before the podcast, and we are actually going to celebrate my daughter's pre-K graduation at this event at Hard Rock Riviera Maya. So
that's perfect.
Whether
Nice.
it's kindergarten, 5th grade, 8th grade, whatever it might be, we will accommodate and we will make it. Obviously, we'll make it age appropriate. We will make it accommodate whatever age group is needed. But let's celebrate this milestone for children. It's so important to honor their hard work, especially in 2020. It's not easy being a kid. And with everything that's gone on, I watch my 3 little kids and they're struggling. It's tough to be separated from your friends and your family. And we really made it. So by the time that August comes, it'll be safe to travel. All of those safety measures will be in place to stay safe and travel at the same time.
That sounds fantastic. Can people go to mattyktravelgroup.com to get more details, or can you maybe after the podcast email us a link to the package if you got a specific landing page on your site that we can put up on our
We will, yeah,
page?
mattyktravelgroup.com. We're going to have a landing page. It was supposed to go up today. I shut off my email so you didn't hear the ding every 5 seconds while we were doing this podcast. There is a landing page. After this, we will post that on the podcast on how to access us. But if you go to Matty K Travel Group, give us a call, send us an email. We have all the information. We have staff working. Literally, we've gone from being absolutely dead here in the office to being insane. People are ready to travel.
Absolutely.
We are booking travel like it's nobody's business. It's incredible. The phones have been ringing. Like I said, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb here, but otherwise it's ringing off the hook.
That's
People
great
want
news.
to travel.
That is.
It's
That's
good.
awesome.
It's safe to travel. But you don't want to discount those who are afraid.
No,
If
that's
you're
fine.
scared, if you're nervous, that's okay. The time will come when you're more comfortable and we'll be there for you.
Yep.
We will, if you have a question about it, ask us.
Yeah.
And I always say, when somebody asks me about traveling, I say, when they say, what resort do you recommend, or what do you suggest? We will only recommend the place that I would take my wife and my 3 daughters. So if I'm suggesting a place, I've either been there with my wife and my 3 daughters, or I would take my wife and 3 daughters. And there's places that I'm not sending you, and there's a reason why.
Yep.
And we don't talk about them. We don't have to. We represent certain brands because we stand behind those brands, and those brands stand behind us. And I can tell you without a doubt, I've been to Hard Rock Riviera Maya. My family's been there. We are going to be there this summer a couple of times. And you have to know when you send a client somewhere, it's not just about a sale. It's about a relationship. It's about a trust. That's why we are travel advisors. It's not just about that quick travel agent. Boom, see you later. Here's a trip. Here's your travel documents. It is truly, let's book a trip. Let's do this together.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll definitely have a link to Matty K's website in our show notes up on the website, friendsthatcarryon.com, and then of course hit mattyktravelgroup.com and hit Matty up. Try to book some trips.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Matt, let's talk about a couple places, and obviously you've probably been to a lot of places, but let's talk to a couple places you've been to recently. And first, let's start with Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. I believe you've gone there recently. Give us some thoughts on that.
Well, be no surprise that I was at Hard Rock Punta Cana. It was literally right before this whole coronavirus hit, and there was talk about it. It was going to happen, and we were there for 2 reasons. We were there, obviously, to spend some time with the family. We were there to do some work at Hard Rock Punta Cana. We were there dealing with a new DMC that we had partnered with, and so obviously, Hard Rock Punta Cana has one of the most beautiful beaches you will ever see. It is literally right on the border of what would be considered Punta Cana to the Macau beach, and it is gorgeous, and it is incredible. A little windy. A lot of times, think of if you've ever been to Aruba, where it's constantly windy and that constant wind, that time of year, it was a little windy, but the beach in Punta Cana at Hard Rock has something for everybody. And obviously, as Hard Rock Punta Cana reopens, and it's a very, very large property that has 14 buildings. There's 7 sections, and there's 2 sections to each building, so 14 sections. It's a large property. It's not all going to be open all at one shot. It would not be financially feasible to open up the whole property all at one shot. It was one of the best vacations. My father-in-law, still to this moment, he was away with us. All he can talk about is the sand and the beach. Oh my God, Matt, it was so incredible. When are we going back to Hard Rock Punta Cana? The flight from JFK to Punta Cana, good 4-hour flight. We did the VIP. If you don't know, there are VIP options to that. Some of the different airports, whether it's Club Mo Bay down in Montego Bay, Cancun doesn't have one. Punta Cana does have a VIP service. We had checked that out. It's a fast track through customs immigration. We used our DMC to get us right to our transfer, private transfer with a car seat. Very important that we find safety to be number one and paramount. Off the Hard Rock Punta Cana, and yes, they have a casino. Yes, they have 3-card poker. Yes, they have blackjack. Yes, they have craps. And yes, they have drinks.
Do you partake in any of those?
I will not confirm nor deny if I partook in all the above.
I'm assuming they have some food too, right?
There might be some, there might be some. Especially when you're walking right out of the casino, there is an amazing little to-go place that has these great chicken wraps. But they close at 4 a.m. So if you get there at 3:55 a.m.,
you're out of luck.
Yeah. I'm just going to throw a quick clarification.
4 a.m. you're closed.
Yeah, you mentioned DMC for our listeners. That is
a destination management company.
Yeah.
We call them DMCs.
Yeah.
So Matty Travel Group, when you land in a foreign country, if you're not an avid regular travel junkie like us, as we're sitting here talking, you want to know when you're coming into that foreign country, and there's all of these people. Oh, you want a taxi? Oh, do you need help with your bags? Do you need this? No. What you're going to see when you book with us, or any of our partners for that matter, and we are part of such an incredible consortium of travel agencies, that you're going to see a sign. If you book with us, this is Matty Key Travel, and there's going to be your name there, and there's going to be a sign up on the wall that says Matty Key Travel, and you're going to walk up, get a cold bottle of water, and they're going to put you in a private vehicle, and they're going to whisk you away, take your bags, not a worry in the world, and bring you to your destination, whatever that might be, in whether it's Punta Cana, Cancun, Los Cabos, Jamaica, or any of the other islands in the Caribbean. And they're going to take you, and they're going to bring you to your destination. You're not going to be doing the stops, the 15 stops. If you've ever booked one of those online travel agencies, oh yeah, it looked like a great deal online, and now 6 hours after you landed, you might be pulling up to your destination.
Yeah, I've been on a few on those. You fit 14 people in an 8-passenger van.
Exactly. Well, you're sitting on top of your luggage, and you're going down a dirt road. No, you're getting into an air-conditioned vehicle. That destination management company knows me, knows our family, knows our company. Same thing. Car seats are ready. They're waiting for you. They're going to have room for your strollers, room for everything. They might have a cocktail waiting for you. You just got off a flight. It might have been delayed. You're wearing your mask. Whatever it might be. They are going to take you, get you there, get you checked in, make sure you're all set. And that's all part of the package. That's all part of what we arrange. So, yeah, you can go online and, sure, you can book something, and it might sound great online, and it might look great online, but nobody's got an invested interest in an online when you book online. And you book with a travel advisor, whether it's me, it's one of my partners, it's any travel advisor in this industry, we treat you like family. We are going to make sure you get to your destination. We are going to make sure that transfer company, we call them DMCs, your hotel, your resort is going to treat you like gold. And that's something that you will never find when you book through a online company or even one of those places that might offer you a gift card to a wholesale place if you come back and book something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice.
That is awesome. So just from a lodging and location perspective when it comes to Punta Cana, so Hard Rock, obviously your go-to place then, huh?
It's one of my go-to places. It depends. If you want no kids, definitely not a place. I mean, there's an adults-only section to that, but that's a family-friendly resort. There are adults-only resorts, whether it's a Secrets, Excellence. There's definitely some great adults-only places there.
Okay.
I'm a big gambler. Not gonna lie. We like to go to the casino at night. We like the nightclub. We like the entertainment. We like the pool vibe during the day. Nothing beats going to a Hard Rock. I mean, you've got the music, you've got the casino. Yeah. It's one of the biggest casinos in the Caribbean. But that doesn't take away that there are so many other beautiful places within Punta Cana. While I was there last time, I spent a day at the Grand at Iberostar Grand. There we go. Drawing a mental blank for a second. The Iberostar Grand is within the complex of Iberostar. There's actually five resorts there within Iberostar. And I spent a day at Iberostar Grand. And you want to talk about an amazing adults only that you then have access to the Party Central of Iberostar and some of the different places within that complex. If you stay at the Grand, you can go to any of the different resorts within it. And it was beautiful. There was no screaming kids. There was no daddy, I'm hungry, daddy. None of that. Especially if you're looking for somewhere to go. The Iberostar Grand, it's a place to go. We just did a wedding at Iberostar. I'm sorry, not Iberostar. At Paradisus Punta Cana, that was absolutely gorgeous. The pictures are to die for, and it's another great place. And within that, there's different levels of service. Something to keep in mind when you're looking online. Yes, you might see whether it's especially Paradisus, part of the Malia properties. There's the royal service. There's different services there that allow you access to different restaurants, different types of booze. Keep that in mind. Those are the things your travel advisors know. Not everywhere has all of those things.
And these are all-inclusive resorts?
Yes, they're all-inclusive resorts.
So picking the proper package for your needs is important up front so that you're getting what you expected. Is that what you're insinuating there?
Oh, absolutely, because you're going to get there and they're going to be like, oh, well, let's upgrade you to level service, so let's upgrade you to royal service, and it's only $1,000 more. And then by the time you're done, that price that I quoted you was still cheaper than what you would have spent, but then you went to the online travel agency, booked it because you thought you were getting a deal. And that's why it's so important to know. But then there are those properties that are out there that don't differentiate. Everybody's paying the same thing. There's no different levels, different types. So, well, you have this color wristband, so we're only going to give you this type of vodka or this type of tequila. That stuff goes on out there. That's why your travel advisor is going to guide you accordingly. There's places out there for your budget-minded traveler. And for those travelers that are budget-minded, that's okay. But know that there's a reason why we say the things we do as a travel advisor. We've been there. We've seen the places. We've tasted the food. It's just like anything else. We are your experts in travel. And somebody said the other day, Matt, you're $46 more expensive. Can you match that price? And I was like, all right, yeah, let me reach into my pocket and I'll give you $46. When you get there, you'll understand why it's $46 more expensive. It's that, but that's what goes on. It's truly,
sure.
It's really why everybody has thought when you have an iPad that you're an expert on travel, and you can read Travel Advisor. Nobody's running home after a trip and running to Travel Advisor to write a good review. People who write reviews, majority of the time, are pissed off. They're annoyed. They're angry. They're not happy about something. Nobody's coming back to say, you know what, I had a great time at this resort. They might, but that's not the first thing in their mind. When you're pissed off, you're writing a review.
Yeah.
You're going online. How are you going to express your anger and your frustration?
That's for sure. That's what gets expressed
really
more than your pleasure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, when you're there, what other things, as far as like day-to-day things that you like to do? I mean, obviously you're at a beach and it's a Caribbean. But is there any place that's kind of really cool or must-see things to do when you're in Punta Cana?
Well, if you're in Punta Cana, you have to go to Coco Bongos. You have to spend that. Well, I mean, if you're there without the kids, you can't bring kids to Coco Bongos. But a couple of great things about Punta Cana: fishing, diving. Coco Bongos is a great thing. You have Coco Bongos. They're there, and they're also in Cancun and Playa del Carmen. And one of the amazing things, if you've never been to Coco Bongos, you pay one price, you get in, there's all you can drink, cheap vodka, cheap alcohol. But the shows, the atmosphere, the environment that you're there with, and whether it's the Michael Jackson impersonator and all the other bands that are coming out, and the vibe is incredible. So definitely, if you're going and you're going without kids, or you're going with a babysitter, or you have a nanny with you, and you can sneak out for an evening, definitely check out Coco Bongos. Fishing, definitely some great options to go fishing in Dominican Republic, as well as it is one of the greatest spots to go scuba diving. I have not scuba dive. I haven't gone scuba diving in a long time. I can't equalize my ears. The pressure is just not there. And then these days, after breaking my back, it's no way I'm putting a scuba tank on my back. So, but if you are looking to go do some good scuba diving, it is plentiful in Punta Cana. You can do ATV tours. You can do some tequila tasting, rum tasting, any possible excursion that you want to do while you're in Punta Cana can be done. It's safe. I would not just get up, leave the resort, walk out of the resort. Most of these resorts are so set off the main road. It's not like you're walking out of the resort and kind of just walking down the street like you would in Playa del Carmen type environment. Yeah. But there are some great excursions there.
So the fishing, scuba diving, tequila tastings, etc., those are on the resort, or they're outside the resort?
A little bit of both. Some of the excursions you can do tequila tasting and rum tasting on any resort.
Right.
And you don't even need an excursion for that.
You don't even need to leave the pool.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the pool bar excursion from the non-sun side to the sun side. The fishing you have to leave. A lot of times you have to leave the resort because they don't have the docks on the beach side for that. You would have to, get in with one of our travel partners, your DMC, if you will, to bring you to the docks. Same thing with scuba diving, because the boats are not. I mean, some of the boats will beach themselves, and you can jump on the boat. But and same thing, you can go parasailing and catamaran, go on a catamaran. But a lot of those day trips are get in a cab or get in a car service that are going to bring you to the docks to get you there. And as far as in the evenings for tequila tasting or rum tasting, it depends on what your interest is. I remember being at the Iberostar Grand in the evenings. They do have a wine tasting partner. They have a cigar lounge there. So if you're a big cigar smoker, you can partner a good scotch or whiskey with a cigar, and that's all included, especially at the Grand at Iberostar. So take advantage of that. I know one of you guys is drinking a scotch or a whiskey or something. The bourbon, there you go. I'm sure that they can make accommodations for bourbon.
Oh, and we can make accommodations for tequila and rum. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. And a good cigar Yes, and especially we, like I said, we just did that wedding at Paradisus Punta Cana, and they had a cigar roller that evening for
wild.
the reception. It was great.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm sure the mojitos there are pretty good too.
Yeah, they are. I just speak from what I've been told.
Right. Asking for a friend.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, it sounds like if you go to Punta Cana, whether it's the Hard Rock or the Grand Alpestar or any of them, there's just a ton of stuff to do. Great food, great drink, good day trips, whether it's fishing, scuba diving, whatever. It's just a good place to go. Is that how you would sum it up?
I would sum it up like that. And, it's ironic that my brother-in-law said to me when we were going to Punta Cana the first time, he goes, "Oh, I can't believe you're going to Punta Cana. I got sick when I went to Punta Cana." and I'll tell you this, whatever destination you go to, and I'm going to take my travel agent hat off and I'm going to put my half medical, half hat on. People go away all the time and they're like, "Oh, I went away and I got sick." And if you think about something, when you're in the pool all day and you're drinking an adult beverage and you're in the sun, you become dehydrated. You're probably not properly hydrating yourself. You're hydrating yourself with an adult beverage and you're eating the food. You're in the sun that you're normally not in. You become dehydrated. The number one sign and symptom of dehydration is vomiting and diarrhea. So don't think when you go away, and know everybody's like, "Oh my God, Matt's talking about this." Don't think you went away to Punta Cana, you went away to Cancun, wherever you went away. "Oh my God, I got sick because I went to that location." No, you didn't get sick because you went to that location. You got sick because you went there and you got dehydrated and you didn't take care of yourself. Yep. That's why people make fun of me. I'm drinking bottles of water as I'm chugging my adult beverage in the pool and getting up every 5 minutes to go use the bathroom. But remember to hydrate. That's important. You're in the sun. You're in the Caribbean sun or the Mexican sun. It beats you up. Sunscreen. My wife puts that SPF 4 oil on, and she's trying to bronze herself and burn herself, and I'm putting the SPF 79 on.
It's like, you go ahead and go back to the room at 2. I'll still be out here having my cocktail.
That's right.
Exactly. So don't think that when somebody says, "Oh, I went to this location and I got sick," you didn't get sick. You didn't get food poisoning. You probably got dehydrated. Yep. And that's probably what it is. So don't ever discriminate against a particular destination. And I hear it all the time. "Oh, I went to Mexico 25 years ago and we were in Cancun." Granted, it's 25 years ago. Everything's changed in 25 years. Think of New York City, what 25 years ago to now is.
Yeah. Well, even the person who left there, he's changed a lot in the last 25 years.
Right. Absolutely. Exactly.
Well,
so
the hydration is probably the biggest thing. We tend to partake in the various alcohol availabilities at the different places we go to, but we know to have a bottle of water with us at all times.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You gotta stay hydrated. It's super important. Don't drink from the tap. That's why there's bottled water everywhere. And we'll do a vodka soda, bottle of water. Vodka soda, bottle of water. Tequila, bottle of water. Tequila, bottle of water. You gotta keep a little bit of hydration going, and you'll see a lot of different. Also, remember the way the food is made and prepared in a Caribbean island is not the same as the U.S. or in North America, where we're used to things a certain way, whether it's even the dairy. So things affect our gastrointestinal system a little differently. And people get, "Oh my God, I went away and I got sick. I'll never go back to that island again." Probably not you. I'm sorry, it was probably not the island. It might have been you. It might have been the island. It might have been something bad. Don't write it off. If you've been to a resort in a particular island and you did not enjoy it, that doesn't mean the entire island was horrible. That's like saying you went to Italy and you didn't enjoy Milan, but you had a great time in Venice, Florence, and Rome. You're not going to never go back to Italy.
Right. Oh, no, absolutely.
Don't write off a particular island because you went to a resort and didn't like it, especially when you picked a Groupon for the lowest, cheapest thing that you possibly have paid. When you pay $199 for 5 nights, all inclusive, think about what you're getting.
That's sage advice there.
There you go. Because when you break down 5 nights over $200, and the food,
we'll leave the light
drink,
on.
Exactly. Yeah. We won't say the name.
Right.
You get what you pay for, and that's the best advice I can ever give to somebody. Even those that are out there looking for a deal, there's deals to be had. But you have to look at the value of the place.
We do it all the time. I mean,
yeah.
we always. I mean, nobody wants to overpay for anything, so you're always looking for a good deal. But there's a fine line between being cheap and getting a good deal. So,
absolutely, and that's that deal right now. Like I said, that Hard Rock and the all inclusive collection is your Hard Rock, your Eden Rock, Nobu, Unico, and if anybody is looking for an adults only, all inclusive, if you've never been to Unico 2087. It's right on the border of Riviera Maya and Tulum.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
If you're looking for an all-inclusive, adults only, 5-star, that's it.
Yep. Well, you got us convinced. I think Jim and I were looking at each other like, okay, we're ready to go.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So we might be doing that.
We might be booking here soon.
Well, we're excited, too, though. We were talking before the podcast, or another place that neither one of us have been.
That's definitely the one to go to. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying we're excited because there's another place that you mentioned you just recently went to that neither one of us have been, which is Poland.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we were just there in November of 2019. It was we were there for the travel agent forum that was put together by TMSG Travel Marketing Show Group. And we were in Poland, and it was breathtaking.
Was that in Krakow?
Well, we stayed in Poznan for the travel agent forum, and then the post part of the trip was in Krakow.
Okay.
We went there after the fact, but I had actually did a pre-fam, the actual forum, and then a post fam, which hit a couple of different places, and one of them was Krakow, which is just incredible.
Really?
Yes,
that's really cool. Most people don't think of Poland as a travel place, and we Tony and I have both been wanting to get there, but it's still not on your radar when you're thinking of trips you want to do, especially in Europe. You're thinking, Paris, Prague, Budapest.
Nobody thinks of Poland.
Yeah, but they never think of Poland at all. So I think it's really interesting to get your take on your experience there. Was this your first time there?
It was not my first time in Poland. I'd actually been to Poland once before. I actually have a Polish heritage, and it was not my first time there, and it was my first time there with a big group of people, and I absolutely fell in love with every last little bit of it. And to go to Krakow after, for the post-fam part of it, with a group of travel advisors that we had a blast. The old town of Krakow was just breathtaking, incredible. The views, the beauty, and the price point. If you're thinking about looking for something, I do know that Polish Airlines was looking to do direct flights actually starting in May from JFK to Krakow direct. I don't know if that's still going to happen with everything that's gone on, but to fly from the U.S. to Poland and even take the train down there and stay in Krakow, it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we tend to stay in the old quarters of any, especially Europe. Right. We get the European cities. Mm-hmm. But so when you guys were in Krakow, is there a particular part of the old city that you stayed in, or a particular location or hotel that you stayed that you preferred?
Yeah, we actually stayed at the Sheraton. It's right outside the old town. For anybody who's ever been to Europe, when you go to Europe, it is the rooms are small.
Yep.
They're tight. So we were in a Sheraton, and it was incredible. The rooms were large. The beds were comfortable. We had just come off of, between a pre-fam, the the conference, which was actually at the Novotel in Poznan, which was actually also awesome.
Yeah, I love Novotels.
To a couple other places, and then here we are. We hit the Sheraton right outside the Old Town. You're right on the river. The views. They have a rooftop bar, restaurant. It was breathtaking.
Nice. Are you walking distance to Old Town at that point?
Yes, you're 5-minute walk to the Old Town. We did that a couple of times. We did the walk. You could try calling an Uber, and then you realize the Uber drives you like 50 feet.
Right.
Charges $20. They're like, yeah, we're here.
Yeah, that's when you feel embarrassed. Like, oh,
and you cannot. There's no driving through the Old Town, so it's all there. It's all you just walk through. It's there. Nobody's gonna bother you. There's some great halal places on the way back. Grab a slice of pizza. When you're leaving Shine at 4:00, in Poland time in the morning, and you can just use the excuse and say that it's a 6-hour time difference. So that's why you're.
Well, I hear Krakow in Poland's pretty has a lot of great old style bars, and it's big on their vodka and their beer there, local beers.
They have some of the most incredible beers and vodka.
Really?
I'm gonna butcher how I say Zubravich vodka. So one of the stories I actually told in a podcast last week about my trip to Poland. I go up to the bar to order drinks for the 12 of us that are at this restaurant, and at the end, here I am thinking, I'm like, all right, I'll order this round, and it'll cost me a couple $100 for my round, and I'm done for the night, and each one of the 12 of us will take turns. And they go to me, and they're like, yeah, it's however many Zwalta, and I'm trying to calculate that in my head, and it comes out to like $36 US for 12 drinks. And I'm like, wait a second. How much is a bottle? And she tells me the number in Zwalta, and I'm trying to calculate this, and I'm speaking into Google Translate / Google Voice, and it comes out to like $30. So I'm like, all right, I'll take 2 bottles at that point. So now you want 2 bottles. You're not looking for the pomp and the circumstance. And now they come out with the sparklers, and they're trying to move out the VIP section for us.
Now you're a rock star.
Pushing everybody out of the way. I'm like, no. I just want, just give me 2 bottles. So from that point forward, we drank vodka by the bottle.
Bottle for him, bottle for me, bottle for you.
It's exactly as Billy Joel would say.
Right.
That's exactly how it is. But the U.S. dollar is so strong to the Zwalta that it was so inexpensive to drink and go out and eat and have a good time in Krakow, the Old Town. Whether you're going for a horse-drawn carriage ride, you're going to a place like Hard Rock Cafe. All of us one of our last nights there was, I think, 15 of us or 14 of us plus our tour guides that went out for drinks, and we went to Hard Rock Cafe, and we piled in, and all of us to eat and drink was nothing. You would think, here in New York or even in the States, $1,000 for say 15 people to eat and drink. If it was $300, it was a lot.
Oh my goodness!
And wow. Yeah, it was absolutely
okay. So
we need Poland on our.
When's Poland opening up?
Poland is open. They're ready to go. We have a great DMC, a destination management company with Sky Travel Network. We have some of the best tour guides ready to go, ready to take you there. And you tell me when, and we're off. Let's get on a flight and let's head to Poland.
Yeah. It's been high on our list. We went. When did we go to Prague, Joe? Was that
probably
3 years?
Yeah, 2015.
Oh my
God,
5 years.
This takes Prague to a whole different level.
Yeah. Wow. So, but it was one of those things that I always wanted to go to Krakow, and we were gonna think about jumping over to Krakow. There's just too much going on.
We ended up going. Well, we were going to Oktoberfest. We went from Prague to Oktoberfest to Krakow.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
but yeah, that sounds awesome.
Oh, that does. That sounds great. And there's a lot of. It looks like there's a lot of other great things. It looks like the downtown market, the main market square there is incredible, and St. Mary's Basilica, the town hall tower just looks like a great old town with lots of aesthetics and architecture and just that old European feel.
there are some great things to do while you're there. One of them obviously is the salt mines. And there's a picture that I have, I'll share with you guys, that's with our group in the salt mines. When you go down into the salt mines, the Polish people are very religious, especially after the war. They're very Roman Catholic. The Jews obviously fled during World War II. I am a Polish Jew. My grandmother, being Polish, fled here to America. Very Roman Catholic. And you go into the salt mines, and they are filled with chapels everywhere.
Oh wow!
And
neat.
And carvings of Jesus and the cross all throughout. And there is this main ballroom down in, I won't say the basement of the salt mines, but there's one picture that is just breathtaking. And when we were there, we ate dinner in the salt mine, and there happened to be a boxing match or a wrestling match or MMA type thing going on that night. Yeah, it's something along those lines. But Krakow is a destination that you can then spend your day doing a trip like that. And that's a half day. Go to do the salt mines. There's a lot of steps involved in that. It's also a place that, without completely ruining the moment and making it somber, is not too far from Krakow is Auschwitz and Birkenau.
Yep.
And it's something I spoke about on a podcast a week ago, and with my heritage, I think it's very important. And it was a topic with my travel agent group of whether or not they were going to go to Auschwitz and Birkenau. And it is something that is super important when we talk about, especially things that are going on in our times today, and we talk about understanding and learning about our history and our past. It's important. It's an important day trip that you can take from Krakow, whether it's a private tour or an organized tour, and you go there and you can see, you can smell, you can feel. From the second you enter the town of Auschwitz and you see the railroad tracks, to the moment you step in and you go under the metal sign of Auschwitz. They then take you through that part of that is what was called the labor camp of Auschwitz. And then you do what's called they call it the March of the Living, where you march from Auschwitz into Birkenau, which was the death camp. And then you walk through that tunnel. It's still there. And it's awestruck to see not just what's still there here in 2019, 2020, but if you look off into the distance and you look past the fence line, there's houses, there's people just living there. People, their laundry is hung over the fence line. And just imagine living and you look over and you see that a place that during World War II and during the Holocaust, 1.5 million people died in that particular place.
That's powerful.
It is powerful. The only thing we've been to a few places. I mean, the most recent was when we went on that same trip to Munich. We went to Dachau. Yeah. And, anytime you go to those, it is really a moving moment. I mean, and that's part of the reasons. One of the reasons we love Europe is there's so much history there, and it's definitely a powerful thing to visit.
Oh my, yeah, and so
absolutely, it's incredible.
But Auschwitz,
and that's definitely
Auschwitz is that's the crown jewel. Of that kind of stuff.
That kind of it's always been on the list. I don't want to sound like I'm a crazy person, but I mean it's just one of those things I'd like to see because experience and just to kind of this is one of the big things we love about travel. Matt, we've talked about this before, and it's why we encourage people to travel, because until you can go and somewhat walk in another person's shoes and kind of see what you can see and be around it and just feel it, it's amazing the presence that exists. And it just makes the world shrink a little bit, and you realize that the people that, even if they're 6,000 miles, 10,000 miles away from you, you have a lot in common, and you're not that different. And we all want the same things, fun, happiness, family, good things, So it's kind of wild.
Yeah. It is, and it makes us realize that no matter what our background is or where we come from, we're all humans.
Yep.
And as somebody posted recently on my Facebook. Obviously, we know my background coming from the police department and with the current times, and there's a lot of controversy going on. At the end of the day, whether the color of your skin is light, dark, your background, whatever it is, our blood is all red.
Yep.
And we are all humans, no matter what. And we have to remember that something like that is something we have to make sure never happens again.
Yep.
Oh my.
And that's something. And I did not have like I said in my previous talks about this, is my first experience there was not the greatest, and I was not impressed in the sense that, I went there and I didn't feel that reverence. I felt that it was too touristy, and I felt it was too commercialized, but I still felt it was very important. And as we move forward in life and with what's going on in current times, we have to remember that no matter what, we're all humans. We all have to love each other no matter what. And travel is part of that. And that's part of who we are. It's so, so important.
Yep. I totally agree.
Absolutely. Kind of starting to wrap up on Krakow, but along the same lines as Auschwitz, Oskar Schindler's factory was in Krakow, wasn't it, or very near there?
It was very close to it. Yes. If those who remember the movie, a lot of it was filmed right in that area, right over there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of you don't think of Krakow like you think of Berlin and London and Paris and all that for history, because I guess Poland. Well, I guess partially because it went behind the Iron Curtain for a while, and
exactly.
And we're just sort of on the wrong side of geography when they divided things up.
A little too far east.
Yeah.
So people don't think of it, but it's amazing the amount of stuff that went on there. So really incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Any final thoughts on Krakow or anything else there? Obviously, we talked a little bit about the whining part, the drinking part, but was there any good food experiences there?
Oh my God, the food was just incredible. I mean, European food. If your palate is open to something unique. When we went in November, it was the season of goose.
Oh wow!
If I'm saying this, if I'm remembering this correctly, it was bird season, if you will. But
right.
It was not something that I had ever really explored or. I'm used to Polish cuisine of being some pierogies and some bigos and stuff like sauerkraut, kibasi, if you will. And it really, that was their time of year. That was their delicacy at the time. And wherever we went, their food, if you think so much of where I'm from here on Long Island is Irish, Italian culture. And everybody thinks back to Ireland or Italy and that food culture. It's the same thing in Poland. It's everything is circulates around food. And even here in America, everything is around the dinner table, the kitchen, and that is so important to keep in mind that whatever culture you're in, you were talking about Germany and going to Oktoberfest. It's so important. We, as humans, draw ourselves towards food, drink, and family.
Absolutely.
And that's something that is ingrained in the Polish people. Food, it was just as incredible as going out and having that Polish vodka or that Polish wine. They opened up their homes to us. They opened up their restaurants to us. They treated us like family. The food was incredible. They put their heart, their soul into it, just like any other ethnicity or any other country that's there. They put every second and every ounce of love into what they are offering to you in their restaurants.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's great.
I mean, there's something, again, it's magical when you get together and you have a bite together, have a drink together. The communication that happens with people is just awesome. That's why I love to travel and love the cafe scenes and just the restaurant scenes and just hanging out with people. Hanging out with locals is how we love to travel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really magical. And when you think about that square in the old town and the food outside, the eating under an umbrella, and that's new here. Here in New York, we're just opening up 2 days ago, and I look outside right now, and I look across from my office, and people are eating in a parking lot and eating in, outside. That's new to us out here.
Right,
right. Yes, you might eat by the water, and there might be some restaurants. We never had restaurants outside. That's normal in Europe.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the norm.
Oh, wow.
And that's new here for us here. So I hope that it's something that we embrace. And for those who are looking to go to Europe, please embrace that, embrace the heritage, embrace their culture, and learn something from travel.
Absolutely.
And that's so important.
Absolutely.
That's
they've been doing it a few more years than we have.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, a couple weeks more.
Right.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, Matt, we really appreciate it today. We've come quickly, very quickly. We've come to our hour and actually exceeded it a little bit. But man, that was a lot of great information, and we really appreciate it. And if you can get us information on the graduate trips, that'd be great. We'll share that as well. But once again, thank you very much. Any parting thoughts?
Thank you guys so much for having me. I will obviously definitely get that information out to you guys. For those listening, whether it's the Matty K Travel Group, it's a travel agent locally, or anybody, when you're going to book your trip, think of a local travel agent. It's not just about using a travel agent for the sake of it. It's you're supporting a local business. You're using an expert in travel, somebody who has that experience and will guide you properly. They will find you that best possible deal. Use and support us in the travel industry, whoever that might be. Find somebody you're close to. Find somebody you can trust, and support the travel. And when you're ready to travel, and when you're comfortable and you feel safe, we will be here to help book your trip.
Great, Matt. How can they get a hold of you again?
The easiest way is mattyktravelgroup.com. I'm on all forms of social media, Matty K Travel. You can find us Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think I'm even got a Snapchat account that somebody set up for me. But all LinkedIn,
yep.
Matty K Travel, Matty K. Do a type in Matty K, you can find me.
Cool.
Super.
And then, of course, we'll put it in our show notes too on the website for this episode as well. So
thank you so much, guys. It's been absolutely amazing to take the time today and spend some time talking travel, talk about some previous trips, and good things to come. It's going to be challenging getting the world back open, but I see we really are going to come out on top of this no matter what.
Absolutely. That's what we do, right?
Absolutely. Great.
That's it.
Well, thank you, Matt. We really appreciate it. And everyone, this is Friends That Carry On. You can find us at friendsatcarryon.com. Please go there and subscribe so you can get our podcast every week as they come out, and look for some upcoming surprises or benefits that we're going to be unleashing here in the near future.
Yep, the new fan page.
And on all the social media at friendsatcarryon.com. So thank you very much. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Be sure to join the Friends next week for another great discussion. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. You can also find the Friends and other content at www.friendsthatcarryon.com, or check us out on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook by searching Friends That Carry On. Thanks again for joining us, and don't forget to carry on, friends.